everybody, this is Caitlin here, and welcome to the last couple of videos that we have regarding the Legacy Lost spoiler articles. Again, I'm very sorry this isn't actually posted on the day it was meant to come out. This was mainly due to me, well, first of all, I was at my locals tournament on Tuesday, which is why this video didn't go up, because I didn't get home until maybe about 11 o'clock at night or something like that. So my apologies for that. So today we're going to be getting two videos, which will be Tuesday and Friday's Legacy Lost spoiler articles. We're actually nearing the very end of the spoiler articles, actually. I believe next week will be the last one on Tuesday, I believe, because I know that yesterday's one was the penultimate one, is what they said. So we're very close to the end now, so I'm very curious to see what everyone thinks once we get pretty much everything spoiled for us. But looking at Tuesday's spoilers, so we've got... These are all water spoilers, I believe, if I remember correctly. I think only one of them is like water dark. We start off with Charlotte, wielder of the Sacred Spirit. She's a 4-drop 0/0 for attack and defense. She's a wizard. She's a wizard, Harry. She has barrier, total cost equal to or less than number of cards in your hand. So essentially, she is protected from spells and I believe activated abilities or something like that, that equal the total cost of cards or less than in your hand. So it's a very kind of finicky barrier, but I suppose it's alright. She gains 200 for each card in your hand, and when she enters the field you draw a card. I'm not too sure whether I like this one too much, because obviously the hand limit I believe is 7, so the most at any given time that she can be, like the most at any given time she can be is 7, but bearing in mind that you'll be playing cards, obviously you're not going to be keeping them in your hand. I don't really like this ability, and it, like, for her being a 4-drop, I don't really like it too much. Imagine, like, you're playing lots of spells and whatnot, you're going to have, like, no hand, and she's going to be literally 0/0, so I'm not too sure about that. I don't think I'm a big fan of it, per se. Next up, we have simply Fishing, which is a 1-drop chant. We put the top card of our deck into our graveyard. If it was put into the graveyard this way, we put an XX Water Darkness, a Fantasy Resonator token, into your field, where X is that card's total cost. Which is like a kind of neat card or whatever, because it's a way of being able to cheat in, say, a token on our turn. If, say, we've only got one mana left and we want to like generate another token to work well with some of the other token generation things that we can do. Not too sure whether I would run it in the Valentina 4.0 deck. I'd need to think about it. I'm not entirely sure myself. Next up we have Zhang Zia, the fisherman, who's the guy that we saw in that card over there. He's a 3-drop 7/7. He has pretty much a similar effect to the actual spell. When he enters the field, we put the top card of our deck into the graveyard, and if it was put into the graveyard this way, we put an XX Water Darkness Fantasy Resonator token into our field, where X is the card's total cost. So yeah, that's basically the same thing, except this is cost 3. And, you know, we're not, like, discarding something into our... Well, actually, we are discarding something into our graveyard, but we're having to play a 3-drop first before we do that. So, I'm a bit iffy about that. I'm not too sure how I feel. Next up, we have Reunion of Sisters. And for some reason, I'm not quite sure why they did this. This is a spell that mainly works better if you're running Water Light. Now, I'm not sure why they did that, considering that the dual-type rulers that we've got are Water Darkness and Light Wind. And we've also got not Dark Wind. We've also got Light Fire and Water Fire. So I'm not quite sure why they decided to do this for this card. I don't know if maybe they're going to plan on releasing another ruler next set that's Water Light, but this seems really odd, a very odd choice to me. It would have made more sense if it was if it was either a Dark Water spell, but it's a Reunion of Sisters, so I doubt that. Or if they made this even White Wind to suit with it being a Faria spell, essentially. What it does is it's a 3-drop for 2 water and 1 void. We choose one. If we control a light J/Resonator and another water J/Resonator, we can choose both. Draw 2 cards or return target Resonator to its owner's hand. So really, I don't really see the point in running this unless you are definitely going to be running light water, which... I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but I really wouldn't. I mean, the artwork is really cute. I like that. It's kind of weird how different Faria looks here than she does in her J-Ruler artwork. It almost looks like she's calmed down from her whole Divine Beast thing, and she looks like she's still wearing Glorious's armor, but I'm a bit iffy about this card as well. Next up, we have Ghost of Ataratica. Finally, something really, really cool for our Valentina deck. It's a Water Darkness. It's 100 attack and 300 defense. Whenever this card deals damage to your opponent, we draw a card and your opponent discards a card. So basically, you're not probably going to be playing this very early on. I feel like what you're going to do is you're going to be dropping it later on in the game where you're swinging with big things. So obviously your opponent wants to block the big things to prevent them taking damage, and then you can chip away with this once they've used up all their blockers and things like that. You can draw a card and you can make them discard their hand. So I think this card is meant for later play, I believe. I don't think it's meant to be played in early turns, is what I'm gathering from it. And last for this one is Magic Rebound, which is a quick cast, water and darkness. We change the target of a target spell or ability with a single target, then we draw a card. The new target must be legal. And then Moonstart down there is like saying, get away from me, Moonstart Lady of Illusion. So I'm not quite sure what this... I'm a bit perplexed by the artwork or whatever. It looks like we've got like one Moonstart who's like disappearing into the void or something like that, and then we've got the kind of I don't know whether this is the mind controlled Moonstart or whether this is the like the original one. She's still got some funky kind of headpiece going on in the back of her head there, but it's a decent spell, I think. Like, I don't know whether, say your opponent was targeting something with thunder, would you be able to change the target to something they control, or would you have to choose something that you control in particular? Because I'm wondering if you could change the target to something that they control, or whether it still has to be you, but you can select a different target. Need to find verification on that. Anyway, guys, this has been Tuesday spoilers. Sorry, I've not really got much to say about them, to be honest. I'm just a little bit like, iffy. They're not like the best things I've seen in the entire set. I'm a bit indifferent to them. Some of them seem like, well, the majority of them seem like they are more suited, or are meant to be more suited to Valentina's playstyle. This Charlotte one, I guess you could say, would be better with the Charlotte J-Ruler herself, or even any other older water J-Ruler or whatever. But I'm a little bit meh about them. I'm not feeling that much love for them, I think. I think the only one I kind of liked was the last one, mainly because it's a Water Darkness spell, and, Water Darkness spells are pretty awesome in the Valentina build. So until later on today, guys, we will be looking at the penultimate spoilers for this Legacy Lost set. So until next time, guys, I will see you all later.